It's hard to make a name for yourself in the film industry, especially at a young age. But the Safdie brothers, Josh and Benny, seem to be doing just that with the critical and box office successes of the movies Good Time and Uncut Gems. I love the Safdie brothers' work, particularly Good Time. It has a grimy, gritty feel that can come across as corny in other films, but just feels so raw on their own. A lot of it gives you a feeling of older films like Abel Ferrara's Bad Lieutenant or Martin Scorsese's Mean Streets with a new modern glaze over it. And their movies are an adrenaline junkie's heaven. Everything feels like it's happening all at once and is so fastly paced it's easy to miss some of the underlying themes that they're attempting to throw at the audience. And that's perhaps where their biggest flaw comes into play. At first glance, neither Good Time nor Uncut Gems appear to me making too much social commentary, but really, they're both chock full of it throughout. The Safdie brothers are attempting to showcase the exploitation of minorities, specifically black people, in these movies. These ideas, how black people are being taken advantage of both by the system that was created to suppress them, as well as individuals taking advantage of that system, is seen throughout Good Time. Connie is an objectively pretty scummy character, but it is without a doubt that he is in a shitty situation, and he is constantly perpetuating this greater problem in order to advance himself. It happens in more obvious moments, like when he and Nick put on the black masks to rob the bank, because he's aware of the connotations that will follow. And when he drugs the black security guard because he knows the police won't question any further that he's not a figure of authority. But he also does this in less obvious and more subconscious ways, taking advantage of an underage girl. He makes out with her to distract her from his police report on the television. All of this happens while Nick is locked up in Rikers Island, where most of his fellow inmates are black, and that just represents how the system is done at a much larger scale. But where the problem lays is that there's just a lack of black characters with their own motivations. All three black characters are essentially just there for Connie to take advantage of. And there's nothing inherently wrong with these characters being taken advantage of, because it does reflect reality, but they don't have a lot of depth. And it's problematic when this theme isn't even the focus of the movie. As white directors, the Safdie brothers need to know that they're playing with fire if they want to make movies about these themes. There was a lot of controversy surrounding Good Time when it came out, because despite my love for the movie and the Safdie brothers' intentions, it really is just a movie about some white dude taking advantage of a lot of black people. And like I said, some of the ways Connie perpetrates these ideas are in his subconscious. And when you reflect on the history of minorities in cinema and how they've been portrayed and how that portrayal has reflected in our own subconsciouses, it's understandable that this can be interpreted wrongly. And then comes along Uncut Gems, which, in my opinion, deals with these themes a lot better in a much more cumulative and mature way. We start off the movie in an Ethiopian mine with panic among the workers as one of them has suffered a very brutal leg injury. And this isn't just foreshadowing the pain and chaos that the gym will cause, but we are immediately thrusted into this idea of exploitation and workers in dangerous conditions, presumably for little pay. And where does it transition to? A colonoscopy of Howard, quite literally up the ass of the white man who's gonna profit off of all of them. Not only is this a much more articulate way of presenting the same ideas as Good Time, it happens in the first 5 minutes of the movie. On top of this, we're given two great and important black supporting characters in KG and Damani, who have much more distinct goals and aspirations than the characters in Good Time, and they still remain great representations of this idea of the exploitation of black people. Damani is used by Howard to get more customers, and Howard just decides to sell Damani's property to make some money that he owes. Kevin Garnett might be making millions of dollars playing basketball, but he really is just there to make more money for the NBA and people like Howard who are betting on him. And this idea is even further expanded upon in the dialogue between Garnett and Howard, where KG asks Howard straight up, how much money did you make off of this? And he says, only 65G, but I was trying to make a million, and KG points out that he just totally ripped off the workers in Ethiopia. And Howard just says to him, "That's how I win." I think that the Safdie brothers are great young filmmakers with a lot of ideas. If anything, these thematic differences and similarities between Good Time and Uncut Gems just show their growth as filmmakers and how important it is to be able to articulate the points you were trying to make. While I love both, I honestly like Good Time a lot more than Uncut Gems, but that doesn't mean it's not beyond criticism. And I'm glad that the Safdie brothers improved upon these issues in their follow-up film. And it really makes me excited to see how they will mature as artists in their future endeavors.